Hi, I'm Dr. O. In today's session, we're going to talk a little bit about homeopathic remedies and using those to treat your horse. First off, we have to understand how homeopathic remedies are prepared and how they work. Homeopathic remedies are prepared from a mother tincture. They're a vibrational therapy, and then they're diluted several times, succussed, diluted, succussed. And what we're going to get is a preparation that's either like a 10x, which means the mother preparation was diluted 10 times, or we're going to get a 30C, which actually is 300 times dilution, or we could even get an L or an M, which gets up into thousands and more dilutions. So in homeopathy, it's based on this premise that like will treat like. It's been around for a couple hundred years, unchanged. A gentleman by the name of Hahnemann did most of it. And what he did was he had people, normal, healthy individuals that he thought were normal, healthy individuals. He had them go home and they took, let's for instance, go home and eat some poison ivy tonight and write down everything that happens. Of course, we got a rash, we itched, and our joints swelled and stuff like that. So now we know that if we get a rash or our joints swell, we can use a product called Roostox, which is actually poison oak, and that will help some of those things. So there's over 3,000 remedies that have been repertoired, and that's what it's the homeopathic equivalent of the physician's desk reference is what a repertoire is, where we go in and we say, okay, this remedy will help this. In the human, for instance, there's over 38 different remedies that will help a headache, and some of the remedies are very specific. Is it behind your left eye, or is it a throb in the back of your head? Is it worse in the sunlight? Better when you lay down? Does cold help it? All those things are important when we go to look at what homeopathic remedy we should use. And so those are some of the things that we're going to determine. We're going to ask a lot of questions when we are trying to figure out and determine which homeopathic remedy to use. Now, homeopathic remedies, how do we administer them? Homeopathic remedies are available in tablets, in lactose capsules. They'll be in a liquid. I prefer to give my horses a homeopathic remedy that's in the liquid that has alcohol in, and everybody says, oh, alcohol's in there as a preservative. No, the alcohol's not in there as a preservative. It's a vasodilator, and so when we administer that remedy, like on the tongue, the local blood vessels are dilated, and that remedy is absorbed right into the bloodstream. In the horse, we can put it in the ears, we can drop it between the withers and rub it in manually. We can put it on the nostril, we can put it on the tongue, we can put a couple drops in the gum. One of the ways that homeopathic remedies are administered in the human is we stick the pills under our tongue. And that's fine for us, but I have trouble getting my horse to not chew when I stick something under his tongue. So it's kind of difficult to do a sublingual administration with a pill in the horse. The other thing that we need to remember when we're talking about homeopathic remedies, and especially with the pill, is because they are a vibrational remedy, if we touch that remedy, we will change the vibration. Not only will touching change the vibration, but if we change the protein structure, if that remedy hits the stomach acid, it will change the protein structure. That will change the vibration. So if we administer homeopathic remedies with food, we have a fairly decent chance that we're going to change the protein structure before the body is able to absorb the remedy and change its vibration. So we may not actually be getting the desired results if we give the homeopathic remedy with food. So that's why we like to give it like a half hour before or after food. Put it on the tongue, put it in the ear, put it on the nose, whatever. Now, how often are we going to give the remedies? We're going to give the remedies based on the chronicity or the acuteness of the problem. if it's an acute problem, for instance, if oh wow, that's going to hurt. My thumb's going to swell, and I know that's going to be a bruise tomorrow. That's an acute problem. It just happened. I know it just happened. So I'm going to take the remedy, or I'm going to administer the remedy to my animal, my horse. I'm going to administer him one dose, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but I'm going to administer one dose every 10 to 15 minutes for the first 3 doses. And then I'm going to go as needed. So it may be an hour before I give the next dose, a couple hours. So like if your horse was colicking and we were going to use a homeopathic remedy while we're waiting for the vet to get there, we'd give a dose as soon as we see the horse is colicking. Go call the vet, tell him, hey, come on out, we've got a horse colicking. Give another dose. And give a third dose 10 minutes later. And hopefully if we pick the right remedy by the time the veterinarian gets there, the horse is better. We have not done anything that will hurt any treatment that your veterinarian would do when he got there. And most veterinarians, even if it's an emergency call, are not going to be upset if your horse is not colicking when he gets there, because he's going to do a physical exam, check him out, say everything looks great. Yes, we're going to have to pay for a trip charge, but we're not going to have to, spend the night running fluids and doing all kinds of stuff because the horse is feeling a lot better. Now, how much is a dose? Remember that a dose is a dose, and it doesn't matter if we're treating a mouse or an elephant. A dose is a dose. So if you read the label and it says 5 to 10 drops, that's a dose. So we're going to give 5 to 10 drops. We're going to give that no matter what. If we give 20 or 30 drops, remember how Hahnemann proved these and how he did his repertoire. He had normal, healthy people take a lot of the substance. So if we do that, if we overdose and give a whole bottle at one time, we could actually create or make the symptoms worse. Traditionally, the only side effects that we see with homeopathy are if we pick the wrong remedy, we waste the patient's time, or if we pick too strong of a remedy, which remember in homeopathy means it has very, very little substance in it. The more substance, or the smaller the number, the more substance is in it, the weaker the remedy. So if we pick too high of a remedy, like maybe 300C instead of a 30C, we may end up with what we call a healing crisis. If we end up with a healing crisis, we can antidote the homeopathic remedy, stop it. We can use caffeine or a strong mint. And we must remember that strong mints antidote homeopathic remedies, so we don't want to give our horses peppermint if we're using a homeopathic remedy to treat a chronic condition like a laminitis or a chronic soul abscessing or some weakened white line or like a seedy toe. But homeopathic remedies work very well on the horse. And remember, there is no placebo effect in the horse. So if you are using a homeopathic remedy in your horse and you are seeing a response, it's not a placebo. It's not because the horse thinks he's feeling better. He's actually getting better. So homeopathic remedies work very well on the horse. There's over 3,000 horses, 3,000 remedies that have been repertoired in people and animals. There's combination products available. It really doesn't matter what type of a homeopathic product you're using, but you can use a homeopathy in your horse to harmonize your horse's health.